we might not break down or, cry or, shed tears or anything, but when we bond at such a deep level that...
And you give so much love unspoken.
Yeah.
That sometimes when you get home, you have little or no love to give. And it happened to me.
This is the year where you want to be actively pursuing your goals.
Pick friends who are honest with you.
I think risk comes with a lot of boldness.
Be in the moment. Be present with that emotion. You were given it for a reason.
Women are the key to unlocking the true potential of the world.
I know I'm meant to be great. I know I matter.
Hi Bold fam, welcome to Living Boldly. I'm Queen Martins, and today we're diving into a topic that's as universal as it's also very misunderstood: male friendships. So we all know the cliches like men bond over sports, a good laugh, some beers, but how deep do these connections go? Well, we're about to find out. I've got with me two friends who are also in the same industry, Daniel Etim Effiong and Efa Iwara. Amazing actors. Daniel's also a director, and Efa raps when he wants to. All right, let's welcome them. Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Awesome. So before we even go too far, first thing I even want to know, because I feel like with guys, like once they see each other, they fist bump and they become immediate friends. Was that the case with you two, or how did you guys become friends? Daniel, I'll start with you.
Well, I had known about Efa for a while. I think Efa was a rapper. I knew Efa to be a rapper. And did you do some work on radio?
No.
You didn't do any work on radio. Okay, cool. So I just knew him from radio and TV as a rapper, right? And then I think I had gone to South Africa and then came back, and I just met him on set one day, and he's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Aren't you the rapper?" And he's like, yeah, but I'm an actor now. I'm trying my hands on acting and things, and and we kicked it off. And then he made me drop him at home from set. I think that was how it went. And on the ride from set to his house, and his house was far, one far place like this. I'm like, Jesus, is this guy going to sell me or something? So we drove to his house in the middle of nowhere, and it was just like, so we just bonded over that. And then I think the next time I saw him, if I'm not mistaken, was on TMC set, and then we just sort of like built a relationship.
So what's in terms of timelines, what year was this when you met on set?
Was that 2016?
No,
2017?
it was 2017.
2017. Has to be 2017.
Yeah,
It was 2017.
And TMC was 2018.
Right.
Okay, so short, not too long after.
But the part that Dana is missing. The part that Dana is missing. We had a great conversation. He dropped me off, but he realized that my house was far from his house. So when I sent him a text, he did not reply. He said, "This guy is dead in the water. I don't know see this guy again." I saw him TMC, I'm like, with this guy. This fake guy. I think the number you gave me was maybe your essay number. I think your essay number was on your WhatsApp or something.
Yeah, it must have been.
So I couldn't call. Was it WhatsApp call then? In 2017?
I'm not sure.
I don't think there was.
Oh,
I don't think there was. It was just text.
Okay.
I said, this guy. Well, on TMC, our characters are close friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
We spent a deal of scenes and we just wandered from there.
Yeah. And he's a stand-up guy. I mean, with all his issues. He's really a stand-up guy. And me, I root for stand-up guys, It's hard to find guys who, their word is their bond and who are just real. When you meet a guy who he says he is, and who you can just depend on. Those kind of people. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not one of those guys that has a lot of people around them or around him. But so when I find people that you connect with, I just stick to them.
Was that the foundation for Cinque?
Nice one. Wow. Okay.
Crazy thing about Cinque. Do you want
No. You go.
So everyone feels like Cinque was some master plan, some creative decision, but it really, really wasn't. It was formed. It started with the most random thing. So I have this friend called Efa. She's into makeup. And she was doing her birthday. And she said, if I have a lot of friends that are girls, I don't like, you're one of my few male friends. So can you come with some of your friends? I'm like, okay, let me see who's around. We're filming TMC. So I just finished the scene. We're done for the day. I said, oh, Daniel, if you're not having home, my friend's birthday is happening. Let's just swing by. And I asked her this question. I said, look, who do your friends like? Who do they have like crushes on that I'm friends with? And they're like, oh, Maoli. I'm like, Maoli? Cool. Maoli, are you in town? Say, yeah, I'm in Lagos. What are you doing tonight? I said, nothing, I'm just chilling. I said, dude, my friend's birthday, come through. I said, who else? Kunle. All right. Kunle, Alpha, are you in town? What are you doing? Nothing but just wrapped. Come to my friend's birthday, let's just swing by. And he's like, yo, I'm with Mofe. You know Mofe? Our guy said, yeah, sure. Come through. So we gather at her birthday. It's a good time for us to just chill, cool off after work. And we just get talking about not being able to spend time away from work.
Yeah.
Like we're always working. When you're not working, just at home. And we're like, let's just go somewhere. Let's travel. And Maoli is like, yo, I'm opening my club in Ghana this December. And we're like, yo, you know what? Boys trip. Let's go to Ghana. Totally random. And we just go out to Ghana.
And before that, we were like, hey. So we're talking and, just brainstorming at the party, right? And we were like...
Okay, so Daniel, you were at the birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, you were telling all these other things. Okay, because you didn't mention your name. So I'm like...
I said we were set together.
Okay, I missed that. Okay.
So we're just brainstorming about this trip. And we're like, you know what? We can even get brands to fund this thing. Like, we don't have to do it with money. Let's get brands involved. We can package this thing. We're travel influencers. 5 of the hottest guys in Nollywood. That's our pitch.
Premium.
That's our pitch. That's our pitch, man. 5 of the hottest guys in Nollywood take on Accra. We'll sell it to brands. And, like a joke, the thing just caught fire. We were just talking to brands, and brands were like, of course, we'll be interested. We'll do this, we'll do that. And that's how... And we're like, you know what? We should give ourselves.
Because we can't just be.
I'm going to get to myself.
Let's get a name. And then Efa came up with the name Cinque, and of course Cinque means 5 on the die. And Cinque is like 5 in French too. So it was just perfect for us, 5 guys, doing their thing, and that's how it was born.
I love it. So let's go behind the scenes of that friendship. I feel like when it's a group friendship, drama is inevitable. Disagreements, inevitable. So tell us, like, what are some of those moments where it's just been like, what's this thing? I want to know. You got to spill.
So the weird thing is we don't have fights. We hardly even have disagreements. We can see things differently. But the good thing is because it's an odd number, we put it down to a vote. So it will always be 3 against 2. And the rule is majority carries the vote. So I might want something done a certain way, then I might want something done a certain way, and we put it to a vote. And if the vote swings in that favor, and you can't grumble.
And another reason why we're guys is because we probably have similar or closely related ideals, So we don't always get to this point where we are thinking, are at polar odds or at opposite sides. However, when we do have conflicting ideas, I think we're mature enough to come to, like he said, to a point where we are like, okay, let's vote, and then decide. Or when there's a problem, I think, so personally, I'm one of those people that I don't shy away from confrontation. Like if there's an issue, I like to trash things out. Like I'm not one of those that will just keep quiet and be like, well, I'm just going to keep quiet. No, I'll deal. I'll call you out and be like, yo, like something recently happened. And I'm like, yo, I went to the group, Efa, you didn't tell me this thing happened. What's going on? And it's like, I'm dealing with it. I'm like, okay. Is that how it works? Really? That's how it's something, and something will happen to you and I get to find out from outside. Really? That's not cool? You know, that's not cool at all. That's me, you know, being direct and handling it. You know, another thing happened with Mofair, you know, and I think he felt hard done by some other person, and we're like, okay, let's deal. We called an intervention. You know, we all went, guy. You know, no, you messed up. This is where we draw the line. You know, so I think with us in the group, we are mature, and we're not kids. You know, like so we're mature enough to know when to call each other out and when to.
The fun part for me is, when all the drama is going on in the background, we're also laughing.
yeah. It's never that serious, really.
Even when that issue was happening, that group, I think I called Daniel and I said, oh, boy, see what's in the sub. We laugh about it, we drink later, like, see this stupid guy, see what you did. No, so it's never that deep.
Yes, but I'm curious, right? So you know how, like, when people think about male friendships, people also feel like it's very surface. It's not like, it's not that deep. It's just like, you know, you just talk about like, sports, whatever it is. But it's never like anything with vulnerability and stuff. How has that been for you guys?
That is so wrong. You know, I know we make a lot of things light. It's our own way of dealing, you know, but we go quite deep. I think male friendships are quite deep. We might not break down or, you know, cry or, you know, shed tears or anything, but when we bond at such a deep level that, and it's funny because the depth is not necessarily in the words spoken. The depth is in understanding. Like you just connect. You know what your brother is going through, and you just like, you know, that kind of like, you just nod, like, you know, like.
Think about it. The day that we're planning the Ghana trip, and I mean, back to us. I'm like, hey guys, I'm in. You know, they were like, I'm in, and then Daniel's like, oh. Well, we know he has to ask. I know what he has to. So he's like, what are the dates? I'm coming. You don't have to ask, hey, what are you doing? Why are you thinking? Because you know already. So you wait for him in his own time. He'll come around and tell you what's up.
Or when everyone is pitching in and going like, oh, went clubbing today. Oh, I got the bills, but guys, here's the receipts. You know. Pitching. And everyone pitches in, and then one guy doesn't pitch in, and everyone just goes like, Like you get it. In his own time, he'll come through.
That means that we won't address it, but the person closest to that person will probably call and say, like, how far now? We don't all have to. We know that the person close to that person is going to call him and say, and then he will.
Update or whatever.
Yeah. So we're at Kunli's wedding, right? And we're at the reception. We're just gone partying and everything. And you know, we're all just lazy and chilling. And then I was with some lady. Efa comes in and joins us. So three of us were talking, and Efa is like, "Oh, he says something about my mom. Oh, and my mom is late, right? So he says something about my mom. Yeah. Your mom, blah, 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 blah. And we all laugh, and I don't know if I laughed quite adequately, but you know.
No, you didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh. Okay, I didn't laugh.
No, I remember what it was.
Okay.
I said some. Don't mind this bastard or something.
Oh, right. Oh, and I didn't laugh.
You didn't laugh at all.
I didn't laugh because I didn't find it funny, to be honest. But then, you know, but it wasn't a big deal for me. It's just something I didn't find funny, so I didn't feel the need to laugh. And then I walk away, and then Efa comes to meet me later and is like, dude, listen, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't mean to, you know, call you bastard. You know, it was just a joke. I know, you know, with your mom and everything, it might be. And I was just like, wow. You know, that's so
sweet. I couldn't just leave as soon as he left, so I just gisted a bit, and then I found it because it was a party. It was crazy. Because it's really, because I know, like, if something touches you, if something upsets me, the kind of person I am, it shows in my face. You will know immediately, you know. So I understand that, and I wasn't thinking in the moment. So thinking about, I was like, why didn't you laugh? Guys just said playful, and I started thinking, I said,
yikes.
And for him to come back to sort of like apologize and knowing the sensitivity or being aware of the sensitivity of the situation with my background and all of that. goodness. I mean, he had to have taken some level of, self-awareness to come
and
back
thoughtfulness.
I think that's the word I was looking for, thoughtfulness, to come back to sort of like try an apology. I was just like, oh, it was such an awe moment for me.
Daniel, I'm happy that you even brought us here, right? Because there's also that thing where men need to be strong or put up a whatever. Even when you're hot and bothered about something, it's almost like you can't really show sensitivity. You can't really show like your emotions and stuff like that. So like, how do you? I mean, you guys are men. How do you,
So I think
walk around this thing?
I think especially within the crew, because like you said, we're not kids. I feel like if someone is wrong, and that's why I said we actually don't have fights. Like when someone messes up, the person says, "Hey, I messed up. I'm sorry, guys." Like when Kunle is late, as Kunle is always late, we will say, "I'm sorry, guys. This is what happened." No, and if I feel like as men, as boys, there's nothing wrong with being sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So now you said how like you were pitching to these brands, 5 of the hottest Nollywood. Now the thing is also there are only so many roles available, right? So I'm sure like there are times where maybe you're pitching or like you're casting or somebody has approached you for maybe the same, I'm assuming, the same roles and things like that. So like are those kinds of like, in terms of like your careers now, have you had to deal with like, pitching for the same role or being asked to play the same role and how do you sort of handle that?
Of course. I mean, Daniel and I get picked for the same roles all the time. Like, a lot. Like, sometimes like, you talk on the phone like, Ava, they called them. So sometimes I can get a role because Daniel's not available. Daniel can get a role because I'm not available. So I feel like that comes with age and maturity. Because you get to a level where you realize that first and foremost, there's more than enough room for everyone. Mm-hmm. Second of all, jealousy gets you nowhere. Third of all, you need to be honest with yourself and vulnerable enough with yourself to say, they're not got this role, touch me, but good for you, man. Like, I'd rather see it goes to him than some random guy that I don't know. But, guy, you touch me, you feel sweet, the script mad. Gist me about it. So you get to that level where you're like, I can deal with it.
And I think we all have just different strengths and different areas where we have mastered, and we've recognized that about each other. And so when, for example, he gets a role and I'm like, man, perfect fit for that role, dude, and you killed it. We give him his credit. We go high fives and fist bumps, and we're like, yeah, correct. And then we're constantly learning from each other. We're constantly challenging each other. We know who's got their shit figured out. We know who's got who's it's a podcast, dude. It's allowed. We know who's the creative brain. We know who's the financial person. We know who's the spreadsheet guy. We know who's the guy that's just like into conspiracies and things. So we have we have what we bring to the group, and we recognize that about each other, so it's about the collaboration and not about the competition, so and that's important for us. That's why we remain together, because we're constantly inspiring each other.
Yeah. And Efa talked about something in terms of like jealousy and just like jealousy takes one nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. I also feel like there are times where it's the personal work that you've done on yourself that helps you or enables you to say, oh yeah, jealousy takes me nowhere, and so I would not, this is how I'll address this thing. I wanted it, but guy, you got it. So what kind of personal work would you say you've done on yourself to get to that point? Because I don't think everybody is there, right? And you can care about somebody, but if jealousy creeps in, it has crept in. Like you can't just act like, that's not something that you're feeling. So what kind of work would you say like you've maybe done, or like, how do you really deal with that?
For me, I believe somewhat in karma and good energy and bad energy. So when you don't, I'm looking for how to frame this situation. I don't know if I haven't told you about it. I may have told you, but there was an opportunity between me and someone very, very close to us. I don't want to mention names. And it was kind of like down to the both of us. And in the end, and I really wanted it, but in the end, so that person got it. And for half a second, I was like, like it actually hurt. I called my mom and I said, I really wanted this role. I really wanted it. But you know what? It went to my friend. That's cool. And I'm sure he's going to kill it. Like I could actually, as I said, envision it. Who?
No, same.
Okay. I could start to, I saw the person in that role. But then along the way, another opportunity came up. And it was for that person and a mutual friend. Like my former neighbor called me and said, "Oh, we're trying to get to this person for this." Now, some people would have said, "You know what? This guy you just took this from me. You know what? I want it. Why don't you work with me?" And I said, "Oh, sure, cool. What's the problem?" I heard what the issue was, and I resolved it. Called the person and said, "Yo, man, this is the best thing for you, man. You should run this thing. I think this will work for you." They said, "Man, thanks." I said, "Bless up, enjoy, bless." I kept on living my life. Now it just so happened that the second thing kind of clashed with the first thing, and then he now couldn't do both. And then the one I actually wanted initially
came to you.
Then came to me. So that's what I'm talking about: karma, good energy, and just sometimes you just let go. Because if you hold it in, as they say, if you put your hand out as a fist, you can't receive. You have to just let it go, do your part, and then leave the rest to God. So crazy story.
And there's a level of self-awareness that we all have, because we're constantly feeding off each other and constantly talking. So there's also a collective growth, from that camaraderie as a group. And so personally, I can't be around like empty people. I can't be around people who will give me negative energy. Like, it's just not me. Like, I can't be around you and be faking it. Like, you will notice that I will avoid you. I won't do things with you. I'll just, keep my distance. So the fact that we're constantly together, it just means that there's some level of self-awareness that we've all attained, and growth. Whether it's individually, and whether it's individually or collectively as a group. And kudos to the guys too. They're working on themselves constantly. I see the work Efa puts into his personal branding.
Daniel pushes what? Daniel pushes me constantly. Sometimes I look and say, "Hey, this is what I'm
Daniel. That's why you think. I agree. I feel like that's why you think you've seen all that Daniel can be. Next thing you see him on some ad, you're like, this as well. So
we're constantly building and feeding off each other. So it's a great thing, actually.
Now, I know that we've talked about the group, but again, I want to bring it back to both of you, right? And I feel like in groups, it's a group, but like, this is the two. Within every group, there's also people, So within your group, would you say both of you are like the closest? Are you a pair?
I would say so.
So this is how it plays out, right? When we need to get Efa to do something, it's me that you get to get Efa to do.
Okay.
No, guys, I'm not. That's
like.
But I think Kunle and Mofe have known themselves.
Yeah, longest.
So there's that. But our Black Star. Always like a fight. But it just shows up when he has to, and then he just goes back into.
Also because he has grown as well. He has a family of his own now and all of that. So we're evolving too as individuals, and we're also dealing with that change. There was a time we were planning for a trip, and then we're all just talking, and my guy was just quiet, and we sort of like we're a bit irate about it, but we understood also that look, this guy just born picking. You get so bad.
When you really think about it, you're like, oh, okay.
You get it. You it's like that guy thing again, where you just know that this guy just had a baby, man. Like, I know what it means to have a baby. It's not easy. So we understood, and he came through afterwards, and of course he explained that, yes, he just had a baby. It was crazy. He had weird hours. It was in a different time zone as well. So it was just very chaotic for him at the time. But obviously, we covered for him. Yeah. And so there's Efa and I, there's Mofe and Kunle, and then there's Mauli in the middle to balance
things out. No, I love that. And so far, like, you've talked about like how, for instance, in this situation, you had to give Mauli room based on just the fact that he had a child and stuff. So, Efa, do you feel any pressure when Daniel is here, married, daddy of 3?
I know.
So how are you coping?
We're actually talking about it last night, funny enough. Someone has to be the of the team. But I feel like they also understand that God's time is the best. It's not about how fast or how soon, but how long and when. and how well it works out. So I'm taking my time.
Taking your time.
And we do need one who would, like, we're also a male group. I don't know if we should call ourselves a male group. I mean, it sounds a bit corny, but yeah, we're a male group and we attract a lot of women, and some of us are married. Some of us are very married with children. So when we need a poster boy for the baby, we push Efa forward and be like, go catch all the babies.
It happens all the time. I remember we were at, I think it was Kunle's wedding the day before.
Okay,
And they're like, oh, someone's going to do like a strip thing. And I'm like, sitting down, eating like, Then I was like, my friend's like, Kunle's like, Pauli wasn't around.
No, I wasn't around yet. Yeah, he came on the day.
That's you.
That's your role.
Yeah.
So no pressure per se, no pressure. It's just waiting for the right time.
And he has lots of advisors or advisors, so he'll make the right choice eventually.
I love it. I love that you have your group of like advisors and stuff. I think I'm just curious in terms of like, so for you, like when you think about like maybe getting married or whatever, like just your singleness, how do you think about that? Like what are the challenges, if there are any, that you encounter?
I think because of what I do, I think the problems I would encounter if I was single would be, it might sound very cliche, but seeing Efa for who Efa really is. Not Efa the actor. And people say that all the time. But there's Efa the actor, there's Efa on social media, there's Efa out there. But there's also Efa the boring guy. There's the Efa who doesn't go to the after party. There's the Efa who is a fan of FIFA. There's an Efa who just loves watching Arsenal. There's an Efa who, and this is something that actually happened to me recently, where you play romantic roles so much and you give so much love on screen.
Yeah.
That sometimes when you get home, you have little or no love to give. And it happened to me because you've done it all day. You've looked into someone's eyes and said these sweet words, you've cried, you've held them, you've done all this. And when you get home, you just want to lie down and sleep. You just get home, you're just like, I don't even hear love. I want to just be a regular guy. And you forget that when you get home, you have to still be that guy. So these are the issues.
These are the issues. And Daniel, on your own side, I know it's a different kind of issue where it's like you play all these roles. I literally know someone that says she just types Daniel Effiong on YouTube and she'll say, I've watched all his films. And they're seeing you be romantic. They're just like, look at men now, not all these things on the street. So for you, how do you ward off all of the attraction that you get?
It's down to structure. You have to have structure in place. You have to have boundaries. I say this all the time. You have to have boundaries. And I think being public with my relationship and my marriage has helped me a lot. I mean, people just try and avoid me generally, but I think largely it's down to me just being honest with where I'm at. I'm too busy, extremely busy building my career, building my family to get distracted, and yes, distractions come, but it's just that sense of responsibility that you have as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a visionary, that it's just so burdensome to get distracted right now in my life. So I just try and avoid it. And how do I avoid it? I just try and put structure in place.
What kind of structures?
The fact that my phone is an open book, first of all. My wife knows my password. That's a structure in place. If I get into funny conversations, I'm going to get in trouble. So knowing that my phone is open, I avoid funny conversations. That's one. I don't pick certain calls at certain times. I don't go certain places without my friends, without my guys, without my wife. Those kind of structures. My wife knows where I'm at every point in time. Make sure I tell her. I don't go to places without my wife to spend the night, for example. those kind of things. I mean, they might seem simple and
Yeah.
obvious, but they go a long way.
Now, for other people that are just like, I mean, both of you are doing so well in the film industry, right?
Thank you.
Daniel, you've also recently directed your first feature. For somebody who's sort of looking in, because at the end of the day, one of the reasons why I brought both of you here is I think that relationships that people have, whether it's marriage, whether it's friendship, I think it plays a huge role in either making a person fully live out their potential or literally holding them back, right? So for anyone who's sort of looking, trying to just even looking up to you guys now, what kind of advice do you have for them, either in the way that they pick their friends or even in the way that they approach work?
Do you want to go first or should I?
I think first of all, I believe so much in the power of two things. One is being deliberate about your decisions, about your choices, and the other is being organic, not to force things. So it's kind of feels paradoxical, but it actually is two sides of the same coin. You're deliberate with it, but you're also following your gut feeling. You let your instinct lead you. As a guy, being instinctive is one of my superpowers. I let my relationships unfold organically. I try not to force things. So yes, I identify people that have similarities with myself and people I'd love to be around and things like that. But I connect with energies. It's very important to me that our energies align. And when I meet someone and I feel we align, we connect, there's a flow, then I foster it, I build it, I nurture it, I work on it. So that'll be my advice for listeners out there. You have to be deliberate with your relationships. Know what you want, identify the qualities in people that you want around you, especially in 2025. This is the year where you want to be actively pursuing your goals, and not just let things happen to you. You have to go with intent, go forward with intentionality, and tick those boxes. And in your friendships and relationships, that's one area that will either, like you said, make or mar you. So that's an area you want to pay keen attention to.
I couldn't have said it any better, but I think the only thing I would like to add would be also pick friends who are honest with you and will tell you the truth, which you might not want to hear all the time. So, like you rightly said, you guys like the same things, you guys go together, you guys do stuff, but will he call you out on your bullshit? So there's that type of friend, but there could be the friend that is not as much as a dreamer as you are. So there's also the danger of that. You could want to shoot for the stars, and the person says, no, just be here. Why are you doing this? And there are those, but there are people who would see you shoot for the ceiling and say, you can shoot for the stars. And my brother, right now, you are doing absolute rubbish. It might hurt you to hear that, but you need a friend like that in your life. Like for me, it's my guy, Jad. Jad is horrible. But I've known him since I was born, so he knows me through and through. And we argue a lot.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, I remember when I put out this song called Open and Close, music-wise, and I was like, dude, this song will work. He said, no, it's trash. I said, bro. He said, no, you're more of there are some elements of truth. He was like, you're more of a slow R&B kind of love kind of guy. This song is pop, is fast. It's not really you. But I said, but it is a side of me. And I think this is what the market needs and it will do well. This song went on to do well. And he said, I'm happy I was wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt. That was my honest opinion. I just didn't want to go with you just because you're smiling and happy. He said, I'm happy I was wrong, man. It did well. Next time I'm doing something, he would give his honest, unbiased opinion. So you need people like that in your corner.
And something that both of you have talked about is having values that align with the friends that you choose. So Efa, what are the values that you see in Daniel that make him still your G?
Like I said, Daniel inspires me. I've tried directing, I have a short film on YouTube, but the feature scary. And then we're having a conversation with that. Daniel said, guys, I'm treating my feature. I'm directing it's happening, and I'm like, oh wow. And then constantly thinking outside the box, branding wise, being more than just an actor and a family man, because it's so easy to be drawn into that. Like, okay, you have your family at home, you go to work, you're an actor, you make ends meet, you're okay there. But Daniel tries to do a lot more with his brand, and I respect that. So seeing that, it's really, and I think that's something in the crew that everyone kind of does. Like Kule and his content and all these funny things with TikTok and working with brands and all that. Maoli with his nightlife and his events and clubs, all those things. Mofe as well, directing as well. So being around people like that, especially him, inspires me to okay, whatever you're doing, you can do more. And just keep raising the bar.
Yeah. And Daniel, so Efa mentioned something in terms of how you balance work and family life. You're a daddy of 3 now. How do you stay present across all of these phases?
I think the secret is structure, and you must have structure in place. You must have certain things to force you to do certain things. Naturally, you wouldn't do them, but once those structures are in place, they'll safeguard you and you streamline yourself from wandering off or from, so structures help. Having a working schedule always helps. My wife is a Wonder Woman, so she's a master at getting me on the straight and narrow.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to TSZ, of course. And and then you have friends around you as well who constantly, Efa says that I inspire him. He inspires me as well, I think, no capo. There's one thing that Efa inspires me. There's a way Efa inspires me, and it might sound weird, but it's his selfishness. Efa Efa looks out for himself he takes care of himself in a way that I'm just like, wow. For you to be deliberate about yourself that way, your time, we're all going somewhere, Efa, I'll just be like, guys, I'm out. I'm out. I gotta rest. I've been drinking all week. I have to take. I'm not. We all yap him and be like, oh man, you're such a party pooper, or you're such a, But yes, he has to take care of himself, and that just inspires me. I'm like, for a single guy to look out for himself that way is so instructive.
Ladies.
Yeah, it's so instructive. Number one, you have to be okay before anyone else is okay, so you have to look out for yourself, and he knows how to do that. If you go to Efa's house, well, ladies. Well put together, yeah. So he's that kind of guy, and I love that about him. So yeah, just have people around.
Before you guys think I'm so perfect, let me tell you what's going on. He has Chelsea to give him structure. Kule has TV. Mari has trust me. When we go out and we come back home, there's food waiting for him. There's no food waiting for me. I have to say, oh boy, let me order, let me pick this up. I'm married to myself. I have to solve. So guys, I'm not a hero. A guy just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Oh my days. All right, thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed the conversation with both of you. I think it's been very enlightening, right? And I love the fact that you have debunked a lot of just perceptions around male friendships, or what kind of emotions can be displayed, or what kind of depth one can attain in those kinds of relationships. And I hope that for the guys that are watching, if you've been hesitant or you've not known how to go into those relationships, I hope that this is a good example for you to follow. And I also hope that you've learned lessons on, if you're married, the kind of structures to put in place. And if you're single, Efa is not really sure, so I don't really know. I don't really know where he is.
I'm plural, I'm cloudy.
But then again, I one thing that I appreciate about him is the fact that he also takes care of himself. Because I think it's easy for people to also lose themselves in pursuits that they forget to take care of themselves. So be sure to take care of yourself. And I hope this reminds you to nurture your own relationships as well. If you enjoy this one, be sure to check out the next one that has female friendships with Zainab and Bolanle Olukani. Thank you all for joining, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.